Welcome to Miele. I'm Vicki Robb and I'm here at our Miele Experience Center in Princeton, New Jersey. Today we're going to be making a triple chocolate cookie using the combi-steam oven on combination mode. So if you're looking for a quick, easy recipe to use combination mode, this will be a great first one to try. This is a basic cookie dough recipe, but we're making it a little more interesting by using 3 different types of chocolate chips. So we have white chocolate chips, we have milk chocolate chips, and then we have this dark chocolate chip that actually has some espresso in it. So it'll be something that everybody likes. But to start, we're just going to mix up our dry ingredients in a bowl with a whisk. I have some flour, and I'm going to add some salt and some baking soda. Once I have my dry ingredients just whisked together, I can put that aside. Now we're going to start to get our rest of our ingredients together. I have 2 sticks of butter that are softened, really nice and soft, and I'm going to put those in the bowl of a stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can use a hand mixer, or you can even mix it by hand in a bowl. I just like the ease of using a stand mixer. So I'm going to add 2 different kinds of sugar. I have white granulated sugar and then some light brown sugar. And at this time, I'm also going to add my vanilla extract. So I have all of those in my bowl, and I will put that in my stand mixer with the paddle attachment. And I'm just gonna let this cream until it's creamy and fluffy, nice and nice airy texture, and that'll be about 2 to 3 minutes on a low to medium speed. So we'll come back after we have that mixed together. My mixer's gone for about 2 minutes on a medium-low speed. My sugar and my butter are really nicely creamed together. I'm just gonna scrape it a little bit off of the paddle to make sure there isn't any extra butter that wasn't mixed in. I also like to check the bottom of the bowl to make sure the paddle has reached the very bottom. Now I'm gonna add 2 eggs. I'm gonna put them right in the bowl, but if you're more comfortable breaking the eggs into a bowl to make sure you don't have shell, go ahead and do that. These are large eggs. I have them at room temperature. So now I'm just going to mix this additionally for not too long, maybe just about 1 more minute to make sure the egg is combined. So we have the eggs nicely blended in with the butter and the sugar. So now it's time to add our dry ingredients, and just add that all in one addition. You sometimes see recipes that like you to add it in small amounts, but I just add it all at once, and then mix it on a low speed to start, and then I can gradually raise the speed. Once it's completely blended, which doesn't take long with the flour, I'm already there. I'm going to stop it. And now I'm going to remove the bowl from the stand mixer. So just scrape it off your paddle. It's so tempting to take a little bit of a taste right now, but I promise maybe there'll be a little bit in the bottom of the bowl that you could have a little taste. All right, so I'm gonna put this aside. I got most of it off. You can work on it a little bit longer at home than I did. And now we're gonna add our chips. So it's a total of 2 cups of chips. So I chose to use 1 full cup of white because I think they'll really stand out. And then I'm going to add my 1/2 cup of milk chocolate chips and 1/2 cup of the dark chips with the espresso flavoring, which are so nice. And I'm just gonna mix this up till everything's nicely blended in. And then I chose to use a 1.5 inch scoop to scoop the cookie dough onto my universal tray. So you can go larger or smaller, or even just use a regular teaspoon, but I like to use the 1.5 inch scoop. So I'm going to continue to make sure all my chips are mixed in, and then I'm going to scoop them out onto my 2 universal trays. Actually, I have 2, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to program the oven. I actually ended up needing 3 trays for my cookies. So I have 2 universal trays, and my 3rd tray I'm using the Miele baking tray. So if you're someone that likes to bake cookies using something that has a little less depth, you might want to look into purchasing the baking tray, which you can find on mieleusa.com. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that on my 3rd level. Again, for those of you that are new to convection, when you're using convection, we're having even heat throughout the oven cavity. So I can cook 3 trays of cookies without having to move the trays. I'm going to program my oven now, and I'm going to turn it on. We'll go to operating modes, and we're using combination mode. So I'm going to use a combination of dry heat with a percentage of moisture. It really gives the cookies a very subtly different texture than if you're just using dry heat. It's going to have a more even crispiness from the center to the edges of the cookie. So I'm going to choose convection bake. Again, I have 3 trays, so I need that even heat on all 3 levels. And I'll set my duration. The temperature is 350. I'm going to use 15 minutes because I'm putting it into a cold oven, not preheating, and I'm going to put the moisture level at 30%. So I'll select OK, finish, and OK again, and we're going to start it now. And so we'll come back in 15 minutes and I'll show you our finished cookies. Our 15 minutes of bake time finished, and because we added that 3rd tray, we're noticing that we actually need a few more minutes. So we're going to go ahead back into the programming and add an additional 8 minutes. I think somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes will do it, so I'm going to go for 8. So I'm going to select change, and I'm going to add a cooking stage. So I'll go add convection bake, set the duration 350 degrees for 8 minutes at 30% moisture. Once that 8 minutes is finished, we'll come back and I'll show you the final result. Our additional 8 minutes have finished, so it's time to remove the cookies from the oven. They came out perfect, and so I'm going to remove them from the tray and put them on a cooling rack until they are cool enough to eat, or I can store them in a container in the freezer for up to 3 months. And right now what I'd like to show you how to do is how to save the program. So you may have noticed once the program's finished, there is a save feature on your Miele combi-steam oven. So when you select save, it's going to bring up a keypad, and then I can type in chocolate chip cookies. So the next time I want to make this recipe, I can go into favorites and select chocolate chip cookies, and I won't have to worry about the programming. It's all saved in your oven. So while I type in that and then I have my cookies cooling, I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and join us again next time.